Freaking Elden Ring, man. So this situation, it sucks for the people who've been afflicted by this, but it's also kind of funny. I don't know. So you may know this NPC from the game going by the name Fia. This is her. First time you meet her, she'll ask if you'd like to be embraced, and she'll give you a hug, and you can stay there for however long you want, and then receive a debuff that you don't realize is afflicting you until you're like 60 hours into the game. May or may not be speaking from experience. But one of the things that people discovered about Fia is this cut item or equipment called Deathbed Smalls. This is real, ladies and gentlemen. This is the item in question. It's straight up just an undergarment that she actually wears in-game. Believe it or not, if you players have tested this, of course. If you clip through her model and, get a glimpse, if you will, you can see she's actually wearing it. And this is the item in question. There are stats for it and everything. It looks like it was meant to be included in the final game before it was cut for whatever reason. And the only way to acquire this item is essentially by cheating. It is not an item that you're supposed to have. And if you're detected having it, if you go online and the game detects you have this item in your inventory, then it's likely you'll get soft banned for however long. And it is stated right here by this report from Polygon that, yeah, basically you need a cheat to get this pair of hidden undergarment. Now, some players have taken to going offline and I guess, being curious about the item, seeing what it does. And then there are those who are taking advantage of this likelihood that you'll get banned if you cheat and have this item in your inventory and go online by trolling other players. And this was first prominently highlighted by this Reddit user who posted this. After 220 hours, I pick up some undergarments and it's all over 11,000 upvotes. And it's very simple what happened. My account was soft banned because I acquired an item from a player in multiplayer called the Deathbed Smalls. At the time, I did not know this was unobtainable and would ban me. I deleted the item and would like to get my account deactivated. I believe this is the individual reaching out to Bandai Namco customer support who responded with, "Greetings, thank you for contacting the Bandai Namco Entertainment America player experience team. My name is etc. I'm really sorry to hear that you have encountered this kind of inconvenience while playing the game. In regards of your concern, we would like to know if you have received any kind of message while starting the game. If there is, please provide us a screenshot." And indeed, there is a message that pops up if you're soft banned that says, you've engaged in an activity that wasn't in line with our guidelines. And this user did provide a screenshot, after which they got the following response: "Thank you for providing us with a screenshot that we asked. In regards of the warning message that you have received, this means that the item that you got from that random player could be an injected item, and there could also be other items like that could have triggered this warning. For that, I regret being the one to inform you about this, but you will need to delete all game files for Elden Ring and reinstall the game to make sure that your account doesn't get suspended for 180 days. I apologize that I'll not be able to assist you further with this concern. Thank you for taking the time to contact us, and if you have any other questions, please let us know." And this is not the only post. There are plenty of others that are similar to it. This post right here reads, "PSA, Deathbed Smalls can get you soft banned. Hey all, a couple days ago, I traded someone for the Magic Scorpion Charm, progressed too far, and Salvis died, so I couldn't get it, and they dropped the Deathbed Smalls as well. Also, I mostly play offline and did not use a cheat engine. Yesterday, I logged on and got a message, and this is the message that you will see if you get soft banned. Warning, unauthorized tampering with the game has been detected. We have detected unauthorized tampering with the game from your account. If any unauthorized tampering with the game is detected, a quarantine penalty of 180 days will be imposed. Tampering with the game, such as illegally enhancing parameters, illegally acquiring runes, or altering the game's behavior, is a violation of the online service terms of use. If you continue to play the game while tampering with the game, you'll be penalized. Please make sure that your account has not been tampered with in the past." And this keeps going and going. going. This user continues, after some testing, it turns out I was quarantined, soft banned. This meant that I could only play with other quarantined players. Cheaters essentially relegated to a separate server where only cheaters reside. Because there are far fewer players in this queue, there were no summon signs. If you think you may be soft banned, this is one way to check. Anyway, I removed the Deathbed Smalls and my status didn't change, so I went to Bandai Namco support and submitted a ticket. There's an option to select account banned. This was their response, which brings us to the second screenshot that reads, "Thank you for your cooperation. I'd like to inform you that your suspension will be lifted on April 19th. I'd like to inform you to remove any modified data characters in your PC unit to avoid this from recurring, as the next possible suspension may be permanent," even if, you know, it was the other player kind of trapping you into this soft ban. And then after that, the user updated this Reddit post highlighting how Bandai Namco told him to essentially delete their save file and reinstall the game just in case, to really make sure, because if there's any signs of Deathbed Smalls in the game, in their inventory when they go online, this could happen again, and next time it could be a permaban. But the good news is that eventually the ban was lifted for this user, so at least if you contact them and let them know about this issue, they'll try to work with you and tell you what to do, but you may very well just have to delete your save file and start over again. That seems like it's the only solution. You have to reinstall the game. On top of that, re-download it potentially. So it's a pain in the ass for those who have been afflicted by this. Like this unfortunate Reddit user who just deleted their 200-hour character due to the forbidden undergarments. Yeah, that really sucks. That would be very painful for me. Now, who is the nefarious actor who's been going around dropping these illegal undergarments that, if picked up, will get you soft banned? Well, according to this Kotaku report, one of the prominent players who's been doing this goes by the name, and this is not a joke, Pantsu Dealer, who's invading worlds and dropping Fia's Deathbed Smalls for unsuspecting players to pick up. If you see a free pair of undies lying around the lands between, don't touch them. What we're looking at here is essentially a literal horny jail. If you pick up these undergarments that don't belong to you, then you get soft banned for a bit, except it's a ban or sending to horny jail that occurs because of essentially entrapment. Somebody like has you pick up something, you don't even know what it is, you don't even know that it's an illegal item, and then they call the cops on you, quote unquote, or the game just automatically detects that, and then the user is left there wondering, what did I do? I just picked up this thing that I guess I wasn't supposed to pick up. There's a lesson to be learned here, kids. Don't touch other people's undergarments. Don't take other people's undergarments without their consent. Yes, that is the ultimate lesson to be learned here. But for real though, this highlights just how easy it is to bypass Elden Ring's online multiplayer anti-cheat system. This has been a prominent problem for many years across numerous FromSoft titles, and it's something that unfortunately continues with Elden Ring, though it would seem as though this particular issue has been fixed, as the latest patch 1.04, the patch notes state in one of the bullet points, fixed the bug that allowed unauthorized items to be passed to other players. So it would seem as though they're making it so players can no longer drop the Deathbed Smalls, and in turn making it far less likely that players will get soft banned for something that really isn't their fault at all. All they did was pick up an item unknowingly. This isn't the first time that we have heard about widespread trolling from Elden Ring hackers. There was that situation from back in March 2022 when this Twitter user highlighted how in Elden Ring for PC players, there's an exploit going around on PC where hackers will corrupt your save file while you're invaded. First, they'll crash your game, and when you open it back up, your character will be constantly falling to their death. And indeed, that is shown right here. The game crashes, the player tries to boot back in, and when they do, they're stuck, falling, and this is exactly what happens every single time. This infinite loop where you can essentially no longer engage with the game. Though, it would seem as though somebody did come up with a DIY fix, so at least there was that. But more importantly, FromSoft did hear about this, and according to this report from March 24th, 2002 from Eurogamer, the latest Elden Ring patch targets hacker exploit ruining PC player saves. Endless falling exploits should now be addressed, and since then I haven't heard people prominently highlighting this anymore, so it seems as though the patch did actually work. Another prominent hacker who's been highlighted is Malcolm Reynolds, who Soulsborne FromSoft veterans will be familiar with. He's been making lives difficult for Dark Souls 3 and Dark Souls Remastered players, and he's kind of been doing the same for Elden Ring players. At its core, what he does is essentially make himself super overpowered and just destroys players that way. But there are also rumors and potential reports that he hacked the game in such a way that he can cast a spell that allows the hacker to add illegal items into the defending player's inventory that were only intended to be used in the development process, resulting in the player who got planted with this illegal item getting soft banned, or, down the line, maybe if this is a repeat offense, permanently banned. Malcolm Reynolds tried to claim that this is for justice. He calls himself a necessary evil that the developer should use as a lesson to implement better anti-cheat software. But that's just complete BS. This guy is going out there making content at the expense of others. Reynolds has uploaded YouTube videos of his cheating, killing, and soft banning while making jokes at his victims' expense. I don't get any sense of justice whatsoever from this guy. He's just a hacker troll. And you can see in the video that he uploaded, soft banning in Elden Ring, where he tries to demonstrate this at work, though he claims this is fake, by the way. Obviously, you can see the likes to dislikes ratio are not very favorable. People don't find this amusing at all, the way he's negatively influencing the multiplayer environment of Elden Ring. Now, it's worth noting that while it's been proven that Malcolm Reynolds does make himself super overpowered and just makes it impossible for players to fight back, the whole thing of him making a spell that plants an illegal item in players' inventory to get them soft banned, that part has been called into question. According to Kotaku here, there's no actual evidence. It should be noted, however, that there's no concrete evidence that actual bans actually happen. It could just be Reynolds making up a story. Maybe it is true that this is fake because there is no tangible evidence that he is able to essentially dish out a ban through a spell. Apparently, according to Kotaku, at one point Reynolds spoke to Kotaku over Discord messages about the exploit that he used, but it turned out that he was actually trying to trick Kotaku into publishing nonsense about how the method works, which at the time he claimed allowed him to inject invalid items into other players' inventories. These items would be flagged upon death, he said at the time, and the game would pinpoint his victims as cheaters, resulting in an apparent soft ban, but there's little evidence this part of the scheme is true. Rumors that such things are possible have persisted throughout the community over the years, and while Kotaku can't verify these claims, we do know that cheating continues to be a problem for the series. And indeed, you will find articles about Dark Souls Remastered and this infamous hacker Malcolm Reynolds wreaking havoc. Same thing for Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3 PC cheaters spent hours streaming their exploits this weekend. Though once again, Kotaku insists, even in the Dark Souls 3 article from back in the day, that there is no evidence a player can outright soft ban you from the game by invading your game and attacking you. Though I don't know, I guess there are enough people reporting on this, or at least providing tips on how to deal with the situation, that maybe it's worth being prudent and just taking this advice right here. PSA, if you get invaded by Malcolm Reynolds, suicide or disconnect to avoid soft ban. He is soft banning people by using a hack dagger to give you souls, among other things. So just the second you see his name, get the hell out of there, shut the game down, disconnect, whatever it takes, so that he doesn't get an attack in or whatever and gives you and plants an illegal item on you, is the recommended tip. I personally don't know if Malcolm Reynolds actually has the capability to soft ban other players, or if he's just trying to make players paranoid. Either way, it's better safe than sorry. If I ever see the name Malcolm Reynolds, I'm certainly gonna back the hell out. But yeah, stuff like this is not uncommon for Soulsborne games, FromSoft games, and for Elden Ring, though it does seem like FromSoft has been on top of the most prominent of hacks, like how they recently fixed the bug that allowed for unauthorized items like the Deathbed Smalls to be passed to other players. So that's good that they've been pretty responsive, but at the same time, this just feels like a game of whack-a-mole until FromSoft just ups their anti-cheat systems, improve them. It just feels like you whack one and then another creative hack or cheat crops up. But as far as the Undergarment soft ban hack and troll job is concerned, it would seem as though that's been dealt with. Though if you are in a multiplayer environment and ever encounter someone named, Pantsu Dealer, or you see an item on the ground that indicates it is the Deathbed Smalls, do not pick it up, leave it alone, and just, I guess, apply the same logic you would in real life. It's probably safer to not pick up undergarments that are left on the ground by some stranger. I don't know where this is going. Because the game may very well detect it. It may very well bonk you in the head and tell you to go to horny jail for 180 days or for a lot longer. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is everything you need to know about the mysterious case of the Deathbed Smalls soft bands. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are on this situation, and to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.